Hello and welcome to the Autocar show. Now, in 2001, Hyundai brought their Sonata into India and no one really expected a Korean car manufacturer to have success in the luxury segment. But with its Jaguar-like looks, its design language really made people queue up and buy that car. But subsequent model changes really didn't have that much success. They were softer and more safe in their design. Well, Hyundai's design language has just changed. You've seen that in the Verna. The new fluidic design is quite stunning. It's there in the Sonata as well. Will it really be the comeback for the Sonata? Take a look. The new Hyundai cars look more like sculptures than machines. Channels flow outwards from the base of the grille in the new i45 in waves. And the heavily raked windscreen just rolls over to the back in a coupe-like roofline. The doors also carry heavy creases that seem to just flow from the wheel arches. The rear of the i45 is edgy too, with the beautifully detailed taillights and all the lines flowing across the car converging at the rear. The entire form speaks of movement, and though this car is not as jaw-dropping as the Sonata we saw in 2001, it's sure to turn heads. So the bold cuts and swoops all work themselves into the interior, and I have to say that it looks much nicer than the predecessor. And the driver area and the passenger area sort of clearly divided into two parts in an aircraft cockpit-like manner. And I have to say that even the black and sort of chrome makes it look very high-tech. I particularly like the dials over here. There's lots of storage as well, with the gear lever taking up such little space that a lot of place in the central console is opened up for lots of storage areas. The fascia protrudes out a bit, so when you first get in, it sort of gives you that impression that there's not enough space, but actually it's better than the previous one. The black glossy material interspersed with chrome makes the dash look very smart. And quality of materials used is pretty good too. The seats were extremely comfortable as well, and in the variant I had, only the driver's side had powered seats. The passenger had a manual adjust. Visibility from the driver's seat is good, and though I thought the steeply raked A-pillar may impair one's line of vision, it never actually did. So this is the 2-liter engine that I'm driving. Now it's quite nice, it's refined, it's smooth. But the thing is that even though it has a very respectable 20.2 kgm of torque, it comes in at a very high 4,600 RPM, which means the bottom end is not as peppy, it's not quick off the line, so when you stop and you put your foot down again, it just doesn't go as quick as you'd like. Plus the gearbox is also a little lazy to react. But the thing is that in India, we will probably get the 2.4-liter version for the car, and that will be a much nicer engine to drive. The engine's lackluster feel was also compounded by a gearbox that felt lazy. It was slow to react and annoying when one wanted to overtake. You really had to press the pedal flat to get any juice out of the car. So the car doesn't really feel as big as it should. It wraps itself around you quite nicely. It's easy to nip in and out of traffic. The steering is nice and light and easy, and yet when you want to go a bit quicker, it weighs up quite nicely. However, when you start pushing it harder, especially around the corners, you realize the steering response isn't quite what you'd like it to be. And when you're pushing around the corners, the rear rolls a lot as well and is quick to lose grip. But then, this is meant to be more a luxe commute as opposed to a sporty drive. And luxury, it serves up quite well. Well, I had to ask Young if he's pulled his seat all the way up front to drive, because look at the amount of legroom I have over here. There's loads of it. This now feels like the Accord or the Superb in the rear seat. The only thing is the headroom is a bit tight because of the sloping roofline. So tall people over a speed breaker might just hit their heads. You sit low, but the seats themselves are comfortable with a good recline angle, and you can be sure that long journeys will be easy ones. The rear aircon vents keep you cool, and the AC itself worked well, never letting us feel just how hot it really was outside. The ride is quite good. It absorbs almost every bump and pothole. It doesn't crash through anything. It's quite smooth. Lower speeds, you may bounce a bit over the speed breakers, but as it picks up speed, it flattens out, and it's quite a nice ride. Well, so far the i45, or the Sonata as we know it, has managed to tick all the right boxes and really does what it's supposed to do, offering comfort and luxury in good measures. Well, here's the level of loading you can expect in India. So, been an interesting day out with the i45 or the Sonata as we will know it in the Indian market. Now, if you're looking for a car that's got driving pleasure, very dynamic, this is not it. This is a car more to be enjoyed from the backseat for that leisurely, comfortable drive. Well, it's got loads and loads of space. It's got a comfortable ride. The 2.4-litre engine will be quite nice as well in the Indian market. You can expect Hyundai to equip this car well. With the way it looks, it's definitely going to turn heads. So now all that Hyundai have to do is get the pricing right for this to be a success.